through some heavy things. It seems like this world ain't getting any better. The more we try to get closer to you, the farther we run from your throne. I spent so many nights wondering when will it end, when will the day come, when happiness begins. I'm running the race, but it seems so hard to win. I'm sick of morning, my stomach is throwing up in the morning. I'm calling for help and watching it melt away. My heart's been put on display and put away in many ways. Many times I told myself it was okay, and anger was the price that was paid. While these fading dreams just screams up, bring them home. The burden was too heavy, I kept running from the throne. I can't take it any longer, I can taste my spirit hunger. God, please help me get home.
Lord, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'm not scared 'cause you're holding my breath. I only fear that I don't have enough time left to tell the world that there's no time left.
Lord, please.
Lord, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'm not scared 'cause you're holding my breath. I only fear that I don't have enough time left to tell the world that there's no time left.
And welcome to James and Ministries Live. This evening we will be discussing about the gang violence and the killings in Chicago, Illinois. It happened this past week, along with federal judge or high court to decide if war memorial violates Constitution. The memorial is a cross, and people are saying it's unconstitutional for it to be there, and now they have been forced to put a box around the cross to please the courts so that nobody can see the cross because they find it offensive. And then Jeremy will be talking about Oprah or Jesus, who's right, and about how Oprah has started this new age movement and everything. And this is kind of old news, but Josh McDowell, a Christian writer, has written a book about it, and it just came out, and we're going to share about that. But first, we're going to talk about the incident that's been going on in Chicago, Illinois. Last week, a young teenage boy was beaten to death by a railroad tie. During when he got out of school, he walked outside, and a gang war basically started in the street, and he was beaten to death with a railroad tie. Today they had his funeral, and Jesse Jackson spoke at his funeral, and he said the killings keep coming. One need not to be guilty to be killed in this war zone. He calls it a war zone. And when he spoke at the service on Saturday, this happened Saturday. Let me correct myself. It didn't happen today. It happened on Saturday at the Greater Mount Hebron Baptist Church in Southside Chicago. He also continued, and he said, "We must declare a state of emergency. We have an obligation to prepare for our children's safe passage." I mean, the fact that Jesse Jackson is saying we're in a war zone. They're in a war zone. So, the very scary thing about all this is no one is coming forward. I mean, they have it on video of these people killing this boy. I mean, it was taped. It's been all over the news, but no one will come forward. And he said 4 suspects have been charged with first-degree murder, and Darian Albert, the young man who was murdered with the railroad tie, his killing, and police say that they are looking for 3 more people in connection with the beating. Video footage of the incident shows Albert being hit by a person wielding a railroad tie. Well, the reason they've been saying nobody will come forward. They've been interviewing kids like, you saw this, why aren't you coming forward? They said they don't want to be killed because the gangs run. They said the gangs run that area, and if you go and snitch, they call it snitching. If you go and snitch and go to the police, then you're labeled as a bad person. They will come and kill you. The fact that our children today don't even I guess it's a code of honor of not to snitch, not to go to the police, that they're upholding. And their justice isn't being served because, well, they want to protect, they don't want to snitch. And this has been an ongoing problem for, decades. I mean, you look back in the 60s, they were making West Side Story about gang violence. I mean, you look at the Cross and the Switchblade with
Bruce Wilkerson.
yeah, who was it?
Bruce Wilkerson?
That was not Bruce
It
Wilkerson.
wasn't Bruce Wilkerson? What was
No,
his name?
I can't. I don't have anything about it. But Nicky Cruz. I don't remember Wilkerson. I can't remember his name. We don't have any paperwork on that. But this has been going on for years and years and years, and the fact that they're saying we need to declare a state of emergency and everything, I think it's long overdue. I mean, the media promotes. I mean, you listen to these rap songs and you listen to what the media machine is promoting to our kids on MTV, on all these different channels. The gangsta life. Let's live the gangsta life. Yeah, get crunk and all this stuff. I know I'm a white chick trying to say that. It sounds really stupid, but the fact that they're promoting this kind of lifestyle to our children, and then our children are trying to uphold that by not snitching, this is dangerous. And we really need to, as parents, as people in our community, reach out to children and start to say, wait a minute, this needs to stop. Take back your community. Take back this. If we all get together, we can stop the violence, stop this from happening. And I'm going to read some scripture. It talks about courage. And it says, I eagerly expect and hope that I will in no way be ashamed, but will have sufficient courage so that now, as always, Christ will be exalted in my body, whether by life or by death. For to me to live is Christ and to die is gain. Philippians 1:20-21. And then the next verse they put in here about courage, it says, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid of them. Don't be afraid of these people. I mean, people aren't afraid of Al-Qaeda now. They're going all over the place trying to kill Al-Qaeda. Why aren't we doing the same in America? Why aren't we taking back our streets? Why aren't we taking back our communities? And don't be afraid of them. The Lord, your God, will go ahead of you. He will neither fail you nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6. And that's what we need to do as Christians, as people with morals. I don't care if you're not a Christian or what you are. If you have moral value within you, to say this is wrong, this needs to stop. Make a difference. Stand up. And before we go to our first break, I looked up about a little bit of statistics. I wanted to know where was the most gang violence happening, and I typed this up, tried to find some statistics. That's a hard word to say. Statistics on it. It says California, San Fernando Valley, the murder rate spiked 60% in 2001 due to gang-related killings. That was in 2001. And it makes you wonder, how much worse is it now? If it was in 2001, it jumped to 60%, and just in California, San Fernando Valley. We'll talk a little bit more about this when we come back.